Oh, welcome back. I have decided that I don't actually like the pre-printed reading journal that I got at the start of this year. I was very excited to use it, and it works very well. It just has way more features than I need. I want something very simple, and this is the opposite of simple. So I have decided that I'm going to go and make my own reading journal. Even though I do like the review structure of the pre-printed reading journal, I think that the complexity of the overall thing just makes it difficult enough that it's time to make my own. So I'm going to be using this notebook that I got from the Archer and Olive subscription box back in December, I think. I don't know. It's very shiny. It's got vines on the cover. It's got really cool, funky end papers that's very shiny. Feels very kind of cottagecore, kind of springtime. And since spring is pretty much here, I'm going to be using that. I also have these decorative papers and stickers and things from Sterling Ink. These were meant to be the March subscription box for bullet journaling, but I did not use it for March, and I did not use it for April, so I thought this would be a good time to put it to some use. It's got some lovely little sparkles on it. I like the buildings covered in vines. I don't love the florals quite as much as I like the buildings, but I can mix and match with other things and only use the pieces that I'm really interested in. So I like these bits quite a bit, with the greens and the earth tones and the books and the buildings. That's quite nice. And some of the papers in there, very pretty. But the florals, the flowers, less interesting to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love a flower, but I think I have to be particularly fond of the type of flower or the drawing and art style, and this one is nice, but it's just not what I'm looking for. And it comes with some extra stickers and things, and I don't know, I think it's very pretty. I think that I can use the bits and pieces that work very well with what I'm trying to do here, very much matching the cover of kind of springtime, cottagecore, that sort of a thing. So we'll see what I can come up with without using the functional stickers, of course. I'll use those some other time. Next year, perhaps. I especially like this one here with the vines and the building, so I'll probably, definitely use that. All right, let's get to looking at some of the other supplies that I have. I have these stamp stickers. These are from Paper World in a sampler kit box thing that I got, which is very fun. I like it quite a lot, and I will definitely use these. And then I have this green, shiny, gold foiled washi tape, and this blue one, which I don't think I'll end up using, and these butterfly, dragonfly, gold foil tape. All of these are from Archer and Olive in various subscription boxes that I've gotten. I'd give you the links, but I think they're exclusive to the subscription boxes. So anyways, let's get in and start designing this. We're going to go and start with the cover page here, and I'm going to have a hard time keeping this book open because it just really wants to stay closed. Regardless, I think I'm going to use this vellum paper to start with, just because it's got the nicest large scale pictures and decorations, and that is perfect for a cover page. Trying to match some tapes, figure out what goes well with it, and then I'll just start sticking things down. Sometimes I really plan out the decorations for my bullet journal or my reading journal or whatnot, and sometimes I just say, hey, these things work together, and wing the rest of it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with all of this. Like I said, I like the buildings much more than I like the floral aspects, so I'm actually tearing most of the floral bits out. And then adding washi tape to kind of fill in any gaps that might be there. I pulled out my craft knife to try and cut this, and then I realized I could just tear it. So I did. Now, for some reason, this very subtle, muted floral washi tape that has little buds and things on it from Archer and Olive, I had the hardest time getting this tape to line up with the bottom edge of the paper. I have this problem throughout the whole making of this reading journal, and I don't know why. It's a straight washi tape. It should not be difficult, and yet I just can't get the paper or the tape to line up with the paper properly. It's bizarre. Maybe because it's one of those days where my brain's not working properly. Still, it's such a pretty tape that I intend to use it. Now I'm going in and adding some headings that I printed out. I did these with my Cricut and printable sticker paper. I have an HP sprocket, which is what I have used for sticking things down and printing things out for a while now, but I really don't like the HP sprocket. It doesn't hold a charge, the colors are never quite right, it's just very frustrating. So I bit the bullet and I bought an inkjet printer that can handle sticker paper, and I already had the Cricut because I use it for book bindings, and now I'm making stickers to stick in my reading journal, and I'll probably make more. It's actually quite fun. The pages that I'm setting up now are the books read list. I am putting in kind of corner pieces for where the book covers go. As you'll see in a bit later in this video, I printed out the wrong size book covers, but they were already printed and I didn't really feel like printing them again and resizing them. So I'm just going to live with the bigger book covers. So what I am doing here is almost, but not completely, useless. It's still good to have a reference point as to where I'm going to put these and how many books I've read. I'm going up to 200, but it is more or less not so helpful. Some of the ink that I used has smudged a bit, so it's actually a useful thing that the covers are too big and will end up covering up those smudges. But now I'm going in, I'm just adding some very minimal decorations. These pages are going to be covered with book covers, so you're not going to see a lot of these when the page is full, and it's going to be quite busy with all the different covers. And I don't know, I just wanted something to peek through from behind. I normally, when I'm keeping track of books that I've read, I tend to write down a list and keep it in list format with the star rating next to it, but I really wanted to have a visual representation this time, since I have the written list in my everyday bullet journal. I thought it would be fun to have something a little more visual, a little more interesting, and especially using that pre-printed journal that has just a list spot. I thought, yeah, I don't actually like that very much, so I'm going in and doing a longer list, a more visual list, and I have up to 200 spots. I doubt I will hit 200 books this year, so I'm not too worried about needing more space. Last year I got 167, I think, which was not too bad. I've read considerably more in previous years, but sometimes life gets in the way and need to slow down. I don't think I will hit 200 books this year, but I have space for it just in case. Again, adding more sticker headings to the top. This just says books read, and each page is pretty much the same. One of the things that I have noticed about keeping a reading journal is that I really like it to be personalized to my needs. I really like having only the specific pages and information that I'm going to use. The extra stuff, it feels like a waste to have these pages that I'm not going to use and information that I don't really care about. So it's really nice to be able to personalize this and say, okay, I only want a books read list, a Hall of Fame list, a stats list, that sort of a thing. And then I can go through every month and do a monthly setup and figure out what books I've read and then write my reviews from there. So I don't tend to keep a lot of extra information. And honestly, as much as I love having someone else format and lay out and preprint a reading journal, and it is beautiful, it's just too much. So it's really easier almost to go through and start a new reading journal, even though it's, almost April, or it is April by the time you're watching this video, and it's just strangely easier to do all this work to have something that is more useful to me. Now here I'm just adding some decoration in the background. Most of this is going to be covered up because this is my Hall of Fame. This is where I will put my 5-star reads, and 5-star reads they have to be new reads, they can't be rereads. I tend to reread 5-star books all the time, so it doesn't really make sense to mark them there. But I will get book covers and I will add them in at a later date. I have a couple that I should have added in already, but I didn't print out the book covers because I wasn't sure on the sizing. And now that I know that the book covers for the books read list is too big, then I can adjust the sizing accordingly. And this page is actually going to be my books stats page, and I don't fill anything out besides decorating the background and adding the heading, simply because I'm not entirely sure what book stats I want to add yet. I know I want to do a TBR tracker, how many books I started with on my TBR and how many I ended with, and I will probably keep track of books that I've acquired. But other than that, I'm really not sure. So I'll have a think and go in and add stuff later. But for now, let's go through and add all of the books that I've already read this year that I recorded in that other pre-printed journal. I printed out the book covers and I'm just filling them in. And I will say this took far longer than it should have. I did the pressure a little too high on these. I was testing out the Cricut sticker, trying to figure out what the best method was, and I accidentally cut these all the way through instead of just the top layer so I could peel it easily off the sticker paper. I have since figured that out, and future book covers should not be quite this difficult. But it did take a while. And as you can see, they are too big. They are covering up those frames, no question. But still, I think it looks nice. So I'm not complaining too much. Okay, I'm complaining a little bit. If you want to know what I thought of these books, what these books are, I will link you to the previous book review videos, book journal videos that I have done for 2026 so far. You can find that in the description box below. They will be in the pre-printed journal, but I still think they are fun books, and it's always interesting to see what other people think. Let's have a final flip through of the completed setup for the reading journal. It's very shiny, very pretty, and I really love how the decoration turned out, mixing and matching for the win. Cover space, and the book's read so far. I'm already on to the second page, which is very exciting. I really like how simple it looks, how clean, but kind of colorful at the same time. And I think it'll look really nice when it's all filled out. Do you prefer a pre-printed journal, or do you like to make your own? Please let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a fantastic day, happy reading, and I will see you next time. Bye!